Good day, one coders, and welcome back to One Code Camp. Today, let's talk about basic arithmetic operators and string expressions. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of JavaScript operators and expressions. Operators are symbols that perform operations on variables and values. Expressions, on the other hand, are combinations of values, variables, and operators that yield a result. Let's kick things off by exploring arithmetic operators. These are the fundamental operators used for basic mathematical operations like addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, and finding remainders. Before we start, let us rename our app.js file. Let's rename it concatenation and coercion. Then let's create a new app.js file. Now to start our code, let us add a comment, arithmetic operators. We will now then create two let variables. First, let's create variable x with a value of 30 and let us create variable y with a value of 40. Now let us perform addition using the operator or character plus. Let us just add that as a comment in here. Then let us create a new variable called sum. Then let us assign a new value using the equal sign. We will then now call x and add y and assign this value into this sum variable. To see the result, let us log this into the console using console.log. Finally, let us print the sum of x and y is followed by the sum, or let us pass the sum into this log. And that's it for our first operation. We have successfully conducted an arithmetic operation addition that will add the let variable x and y and pass it to the variable sum. Now let us try another operation, and that is the subtraction. For this one, the symbol that we're going to use is dash or hyphen. First, let us create a let variable called difference that will contain the result of our operation. Now using the operator hyphen, let us subtract y with x because y has a bigger value. Again, we're going to log this into the console using the console.log. Once again, we will just pass a string or print a message saying that the difference of y and x is this number. Finally, to print out the value as well, we will going to pass the variable difference as an argument. There we have it. We have successfully subtracted two values using the character or symbol hyphen. Now let us move on to the multiplication. Now for the multiplication, the character or symbol that we're going to use is asterisk. Let us just add this as a comment. Then again, we're going to create another let variable that will contain the result of our operation, and we're going to call it product this time. Afterwards, let us multiply x and y using the asterisk symbol. Once again, to see the result, let us log this into the console using the console.log. And let us say the product of x and y is the value that we're going to pass, which is the variable product. And there we have it. As you can see on our log result, the product when you multiply x to y is gonna be 1200. Now moving on to the fourth one, let us do the division. Now for the division or for getting the quotient or the result when dividing two numbers, we're going to use the symbol or character slash or forward slash. Let us just add this on our comment. And again, the symbol will be forward slash. And as usual, we're going to create a new let variable and we're going to call it quotient. This is then followed by an equal sign, and the value that we're going to pass into this one is the division of x and y using the symbol forward slash. And again, to see the result, we're going to use console.log. Then let us print a message as a first argument. A message that is saying that the quotient, which is the result of dividing x and y, is this value. And for that value, we're going to pass in the quotient variable as the second argument, which will contain the result. After that, on the right side, we can now see our result from the logs on our console. We can see that we have successfully divided 30 with 40. That results to 0.75. Now that's it with our basic arithmetic operators. We have the addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. But we are not done yet because I'm going to introduce you to one more operator. And that operator is for the remainder or the modulo operator that uses percent sign as the operator. For this one, let us create a new let variable called remainder that will contain the result. This is then followed by an equal sign. Then let's create the remainder of y, which is the bigger number in this case. Then followed by a percent sign to get the remainder, and then the x, which is the lower number. And of course, we're going to log this into the console using the console.log. And then let us pass a message or a string value saying that the remainder of y and x is this value. Finally, let us pass the remainder variable as an argument to see the result on our console. And there we have it. Dividing y, which has a value of 40, with x, which has a value of 30, will result a remainder of 10. And using the percentage or modulo operator, we have successfully and easily took this remainder from these two variables. Also in JavaScript, you can also perform a series of arithmetic operations. This means that you can combine multiple operations in a single expression. This is because JavaScript follows standard operator precedence rules, which dictate the order in which operations are performed. Now let's demonstrate that. First, let's create a let variable called answer. Then combine operations in a single expression. We can encapsulate this in an opening and closing parentheses. After that, let us add more operators. And add one more. And finally, let us see the result by logging this into the console. Again, we're going to pass an argument saying that the answer is this value, and the second argument is the variable answer. And finally, this gives us an answer or result of 57.5. But how does JavaScript evaluate this? First, operations within parentheses are evaluated first. Then we move on to the second parenthesis or the second expression. And finally, we will get the final result by evaluating the final expression. And that leaves us to the answer 57.5. Now these are the basic arithmetic operations that forms the foundations of many more complex calculations in programming. Understanding how to use them efficiently is crucial for any developer. And that's the end of our arithmetic operations demonstration. Now let's move on to something equally important but a bit more fun, and that is working with strings. Strings are sequence of characters used for storing and manipulating text. Let's start with simple example. But before that, let us rename this file into arithmetic operators. Then let us create a new app.js file. And let us add a comment string expressions or concatenation. After that, let us use console.log to print something or a string on our console. For instance, if we have two words, we can combine them using the plus operator like this. And there we have it. Hello there on our console. When working with a string, you can use a pair of double apostrophe or a single apostrophe like this. And we can see that it yields the same result. So, using double quotes or a single quote is a matter of preference. Additionally, you can concatenate strings stored inside the variable. First, let's create a variable called greeting. After that, let's assign a value into this variable. Then let's create a new variable called myName. For this one, let's assign the name Jan as a string value. After that, let us use console.log to print these values on our console. Finally, let us concatenate these variables using the plus operator. This will output hi Jan on our console, concatenating the variable greeting and the variable myName. You can also concatenate or combine string inside a pair of double quotes or a single quote and a variable. Let us demonstrate that. First, let us create a let container or variable customer name. After that, let us log into the console. Afterwards, let us pass in a string. Then, using the plus operator, let us concatenate a variable into this string. And there we have it. We have printed out "Good Day Jane" on our console. And finally, that wraps up our tutorial on JavaScript arithmetic operators and string expressions. We've covered basic arithmetic like addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division, which are essential for any calculations in your code. We also learned how to work with string using single or double quotes for concatenation or combining strings with variables. Once again, thanks for watching One Coders, and if you've enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more programming tutorials. Feel free to leave any questions or comments below. See you again on the next video, and happy coding!